Hi, it's Mike Swanson again. When I first started talking to you, I told you that only about 5% of the people that enter the stock market actually make life-changing substantial returns on a consistent basis. Um, and I told you that the main reason why that is because people uh, don't take the market seriously, they don't approach it with a game plan, and they don't really spend a lot of time to educate themselves on how you make money in the stock market. Well, there's also another reason why it's very difficult for people to consistently make returns on a consistent basis. And they can have all the knowledge and strategies and whatever, but they end up blowing themselves up. And I want to explain why that is today. Back in the mid-90s, I was still in college, and I remember reading this newspaper article about investment advisors and stockbrokers in New York City who are making over $300,000 a year, $500,000, even up to $1 million. And the article talked about two groups of people. The larger group of these high income generating people were living it up. They had giant homes, they had second or third homes, really expensive cars. They were members of exclusive country clubs and so forth. And most of them were in debt. And they were living these really lavish lifestyles. And then it was talking about a small group of people that saved up while they're making these big incomes. And within 10 years or so, they retired. They moved down to Florida, somewhere south of New York, got out of the city, and lived off the interest or whatever. And now they were embarking on second careers. And then in 2002, deep in the bear market, as the stock market dropped and mutual funds shrank in value, I remember reading another article about these same people that were brokers, investment advisors on Wall Street that had making all this big money back in the 90s. Now their incomes had shrank because the value of the mutual funds that their clients were holding, that they're getting the trails off of, had dropped in value so much. And then the clients were doing as many trades because they'd got burnt in the bear market. So when they were making $300,000 a year, now they're making $80,000. And the article is about how all these people were financially getting devastated because of all the big debts that they've had and the big lifestyles that they were trying to live up. And now they're using credit cards to do it, or turning to other desperate acts or whatever. And it was about how these people, a lot of their marriages were ruined. They were turning to alcohol or drugs or whatever. And I had two reactions, reading this. One, it was just ludicrous because here's some people making $80,000 a year, and they're like financial paupers because the bear market. I mean, 80,000 or 100,000 is a lot of money. And then of course it made me think back to the first article I read. And then even then, when I read that article, the first one, about how successful these people were, I thought I never want to be like that in a situation where I'm making lots of money and still in debt. I mean, that seems silly, but that's what people do. And when it comes to the stock market, what happens a lot is someone will educate themselves in the market, they'll become successful at it, and they'll make a big score, and then they'll reward themselves. They'll buy a new house, they'll buy a real expensive car, and they'll start to enjoy this lifestyle that they've upgraded themselves to, that takes a lot of money to fund and maintain. And they put themselves in a position where they made a lot of money in the market, but now they have to repeat that immediately in order to maintain their lifestyle. And they get into this thinking, well, I'd already did it once, so now it's going to be easy to do. And they get trapped because what will happen is, either they overtrade to try to make this money, or or the market, for whatever reason, for a couple months or 6 months or even a year, doesn't provide them the opportunity to make this big amount of money that it had just done. So they end up blowing themselves up trying to force something on the market that's not there. And it all comes down to managing their money. If they hadn't try to upgrade their lifestyle based on some short-term gains in the stock market, this wouldn't have happened. So in order to maintain a successful return on a consistent basis in the stock market, you kind of have to manage your money and be someone who saves money instead of taking money out of the market to fund a big lifestyle. And that's one of the reasons why I set up this website. To put it another way, in order to really be successful at the market, you need a source of income, and then you have to keep your assets you have in the stock market as investments that you want to grow in order to use at a future date. But you need to maintain a source of income to live off of and so forth, and not expect returns in the stock market, short-term returns in the stock market to provide that for you. That's really the only way to build up your account in the direction you want to. And that's one of the reasons I set up this website, because I decided about 10 years ago that I wanted to, try to make a lot of money in the stock market and spend the time to dedicate myself to do that. But I realized that I really needed a source of income if I really wanted to spend the 6 hours, 8 hours a day, a dedication to the market that I wanted to. And I figured, on one hand, setting up this financial website would allow me to do that. And then secondly, having a financial website where I write about the market all the time and search for opportunities in the market to make money, it disciplines me not only to look at the market every single day and do research every single day, but also through writing, it makes me think about the market and spend some quiet time as I write, putting all the pieces together, not only for you, but for myself also. So it's really been an integral part of my own success in the market, and hopefully will be yours also if you're new, or has been if you've been a long-term subscriber. So in a nutshell, the point that I'm getting at is that as you become successful in the stock market, you really have to be really aware of how you're going to manage your finances and not take a short-term big gain in the market out in order to upgrade your standard of living. Instead, you need to treat your brokerage account as an investment that you want to see grow over time, and not as a method to get rich quick, in the sense that I want to get rich in order to live it up, and this is going to be, the stock market's now going to be my main source of income and replace other income that you have, whatever it may be, whether it's a job or other investments or whatnot. So I just wanted to tell this to you, because really this is probably the key to success in the stock market. And when it comes down to it, very few people actually do this. Most people get in the market, they educate themselves, and end up blowing up. And it's only probably 1 out of 10 that are successful in the market who really, in the long term, do this. And these are the people who, I think, not only in the end their lifestyles are better, so they actually accomplish what these other people with a more short-term oriented viewpoint are looking at, but they're happier in the long run because they're not as stressed out about the market. They're not trying to make the market do something for them. Instead, they're accepting the market for what it is and taking advantage of it when it's time to take advantage of it, and sitting back when it's time to pare back and wait for opportunities to evolve. They're not looking at bear markets and doubling down, trying to force quick gains on short-term rallies and so forth. But anyway, I think I've shared enough with you today, and if these comments made you think or whatever, please let me know and give me some feedback, and I'll be writing to you and talking to you as we go forward.